Hello. In today's interview section on schooling in Copenhagen, we are going to be talking to Sebanti. She will just introduce herself, but the interview is a little different from our usual interviews because we are looking into university options after your child has graduated from international schools in Copenhagen. So welcome, Sebanti. Would you please introduce yourself?
Yeah, thanks, Rashmi. I think you're doing a great job because, having information like this available is extremely handy because people can feel really lost. And this is something that you have to discover by researching yourself. And if there's something which is available, it's really, really handy. So I must congratulate you for doing that. Thank you for thinking about me. And so I'm, like you said, my name is Sibanti and I'm from India. And we've spent our entire life in India. I have two girls, and both my girls were educated in India till high school. The younger one, of course, we moved with when she was in grade 10. What is grade 10 in India is the corresponding MYP 5 in the International Baccalaureate program. So when I was researching for schools in India, I came upon International School of Hellerup. And I was looking for a place which would be comfortable for my daughter to kind of blend into. And luckily, we stumbled upon International School of Hellerup, where she did her MYP 5. And it was a brilliant year. We came with a lot of apprehensions, with a lot of anxiety, because when you move with a 15, 16-year-old, you also have the responsibility of seeing to it that she's well adjusted and doesn't face adjustment issues. Because then, other than returning to your own country, there is no option left. But luckily, because she was, I have to give credit to her and her social skills, and also the fabulous, environment in International School of Hellerup, which kind of eased her into the program. And she, by the way, studied the Indian program right up till she came here. It wasn't that she was part of the IB curriculum. Okay. So when she came here, MYP 5 was a great kind of a introduction into the IBDP program, which she would take on in the later 2 years. So we came in the year 2017. She completed her MYP 5, and then she went on to do her IBDP. She's graduated from her IBDP this year.
Congratulations on that. Sebanti, my next question with you is about career options or course option in college or university in and around Copenhagen or Denmark after children have graduated from an international high school.
Yeah.
Light on that?
Sure. So, this is very relevant to me because honestly speaking, I think when you are part in the country and you've lived here for a long time, you take certain things for granted. But for people like me who are coming in, because you need to know where you're headed, you kind of double up and take that much more interest and research. So just to give you a little bit of background, my elder daughter has graduated and is working now from University of British Columbia in Vancouver. Okay, so when we moved to Copenhagen, my younger one fell in love with the city and the country. She really, really has a great bunch of friends and she loves it here. She loves living here. So she luckily did not have any aspirations of leaving Copenhagen. And that's when I kind of launched a research into universities here. Now, normally when you come from India or when you come from any other part of the world, you're looking at ranking of universities at the undergraduate level. And because of that, there are a lot of very good universities which are lost, because they don't come into the Times Higher Education, the list of top colleges, etc. So, but we were in Scandinavia, and what I've realized about Scandinavia is that they maintain a very good standard of education right across. So it is not really the name, the brand name that you need to associate yourself with. And through my experience with two girls, what I've realized is the undergraduate program is something that they should do which they enjoy, and not necessarily does it have to be a huge brand name. So that kind of helped us take the decision that she would do her undergrad studies in Denmark whilst we were here. when I started looking at courses, I will be very honest with you. There are two things that I'd like to speak about. One is, when you come from the IB program, you always have a challenge with admission, because the Danish system has a is a far easier curriculum than the IB. And the Danish system, children score higher. And in IB, anybody who knows the baccalaureate, it's a humongous task to be able to get a good grade. So somewhere I feel that that is something that is typical of all countries, where the local board gets an edge over IB. So one has to be clear that the challenges are more in getting into the good universities, because you have a huge number of children applying from the Danish system, where their marks, their grade points will be higher. And the conversion of the Danish and the IB scale, personally, I feel it is extremely unfair. This is my take on it, because I think the IB kids need a little more support after doing such a challenging course. This is my take on the system. The second thing is that there are not too many English programs available. In fact, I am appalled that Copenhagen University doesn't have a single English program. Now, I have to state here, my daughter doesn't know Danish. So in the 2 years she did IB, there was no scope to learn Danish. Going forward now, of course, if she wants to integrate into the society, wants to work here after, she knows she has to learn Danish. Otherwise, there is no way she's going to be able to find herself a job or secure herself a position in the Danish society. My responsibility is to get her into a university and help her do a course that she wants. And then that is when I launched a kind of complete in-depth study into the different universities. And what I realized is that Copenhagen Business School, of course, is the brand name in Copenhagen, which has only business programs. And no doubt that they are excellent, and it's world class. But having said that, at the undergrad level, not everybody is interested in doing a pure business program. So then I started looking at what the other universities were, and we went to Roskilde, we went to Aarhus. In fact, I attended the open house at Aarhus, and people spoke about Aalborg as well. And I realized that these are all very good universities, and they do, even though a small bag, but they do have English courses which can appeal to people who want to study liberal arts or other than doing business. And that's when my daughter, okay, so the priority was, though I loved Aarhus University, I think it's a great, and it's extremely renowned. Aarhus is another university which is very, very renowned. Though it is very renowned and well known, my daughter did not want to leave Copenhagen. So the best resort that we found close by was Roskilde. And we went to Roskilde, attended the open day. We were very impressed. And I have to say that there is only one English program for a liberal arts student, because the other program which is there in English requires a higher level of one of the foreign languages.
Okay.
So there is only actually one program. So we had all our eggs in one basket, and we were very, very scared about it. So the program is International Bachelor of Social Sciences, an extremely dynamic program. And I did a thorough study of what it offered, and I was very, very impressed by the way it went forward. So I think it gives the child a diverse array of subjects to study, and finally be able to choose something that she wants to major in. So that is what we were really, really keen on. And my daughter also wanted to go to Roskilde, and the commute is easy from Copenhagen. And in totality, it looked like the perfect scenario. We kept our fingers crossed. Everybody knows this is the COVID year, and the exams didn't happen, and there was a huge mess up with the results. But with all that, by God's grace, she got into Roskilde. And she started going to classes, and she is really having a very good time. Not only with the peers that she's met over there, also with the curriculum, without knowing a word of Danish, other
That's
than
wonderful.
fact.
Yeah, that's very, very nice to hear that she found something that she is looking forward
Enjoy.
to and interested in. Yes, and then she can major on something that she is studying
Interested
right
in.
now. Yeah,
Right.
that's wonderful. Yep. That is great news. My next question was about the application process. Could you just help us
I think
understand? Yeah.
it is the easiest application process in the world.
Okay.
Because when my daughter was applying to Canada, to UK, everywhere it is a humongous process. If you're applying in quota 1, because see, the application process again is divided into quota 1 and quota 2. So
Mm-hmm.
quota 1 is when you apply, you're fresh, you're fresh IB graduate, and
Yeah.
quota 2 is when you take a gap year. Now
Okay.
here the culture in Denmark is of taking gap years and
Yep.
doing things, working, interning, doing socially useful, productive work, and then
Yep.
coming back with a CV. So honestly speaking, in quota 1, it's a cakewalk.
Okay.
It's just like Denmark is
Hmm.
organized, and it just leads you on. The entire application process happens in about 10 minutes flat. It's all
Wonderful.
related.
Yeah.
It's all, and particularly if you have a CPR number, then absolutely it's a win-win situation. And if you, at the most, if you also want your your application to be assessed in quota 2, you can attach that, what is that, the motivational
Motivation
letter.
letter. Yeah.
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 Now the thing is that Roskilde, she applied in quota 1 and there was no need for any motivational essay, but Roskilde wrote back to us saying
Hmm.
that if you would like your suppose you don't meet the grades, and if you would like your application to be assessed in quota 2, then why don't you also submit a motivational essay? It's not
Hmm.
going to take away from your quota 1 application. So we
Okay.
submitted a motivational essay. I think the universities are on point. They are extremely, she had also applied in Copenhagen Business School, just to see what happens.
Hmm.
But and here the thing is that you apply in a number of universities. They give you about 8
Hmm.
courses that you can apply to in a year, in an academic year, and you kind of number it according to your priority, and according to your grades you get assigned the course that they think that you are eligible for.
Okay.
So she got into Roskilde, and we were really, really delighted about that. It's absolutely, we're extremely happy and extremely satisfied. And it was a very simple process.
That's very positive to hear, because we know the processes can be difficult, and especially difficult
Yeah,
if you're in a new country. And
of course.
obviously, we want the best for our children and the easiest. So it's good to hear that the process is not that tedious, and also that what I understood, if I understood correctly, there's counseling for courses as well as in what you can take and what you can't take. So that way, the university is helping
here
out.
here i will here I will say something is that they do counseling from the school, they do counseling from universities, but you are your best counselor. That is something that I discovered with both my kids. One
Mm,
needs to know the subject combinations that is going to, because one thing, okay, so there's another thing, you need to have social studies, and particularly to get into all these courses they expect you to have history, or so one has to study the the comparative chart, the chart of the subject levels. So
mm,
you have to have maybe English at A level, or math at a particular B level, Danish level. So
right.
all these charts are given, and it's extremely important. That this is something that I realized, because a lot of my daughter's friends, I realized,
Yeah.
fell out because they had a maths which was not the level that the university required.
Mm-hmm.
And they lost an opportunity, and they now have to apply to do supplementary courses.
Mm,
But I never understood that one should not become so dependent on a counselor that one doesn't do one's homework. It's
mm-hmm.
extremely important to study it extremely well.
So what you're suggesting is making the choice of right subjects
Of
actually
course,
happens in high school years of the school
exactly.
rather than the university, because that leads you to getting
Absolutely.
the right courses in the university,
Absolutely.
so the right
Absolutely.
combinations, and you
Right combination. And in IB you have a higher level and standard level subjects, so
exactly,
you
yeah.
have to choose the level correctly. Because suppose you want to do a science program,
Mm,
and you want, which requires maths at a higher level, but you've done maths at a standard level, or you've done math studies. It's
right,
changed now, the IB has changed the maths curriculum, but if you do it
yeah,
at a lower level, you need supplementary courses. So you need to
right,
correspond with admissions and everybody, whether it's Aarhus, whether it's Copenhagen Business School, whether it's Roskilde. And
yeah.
here I have to say, corresponding, the best are Aarhus and Roskilde. They really
Okay.
promptly reply back to you. So all your queries are answered, but it is important to go and read the website of the school or universities to understand what subjects you're looking at, to understand what subject levels you need to take, and also to understand the grade conversion and the subject conversion charts. Everything is available on the internet.
Okay, that is very, very valuable because I'm sure many parents would not know. And
Yeah.
coming from the diverse background of international community that we all come from, each of us has a different setup of application and choices of universities back home, which is quite different from what we have here in Denmark. So it is very important to see and understand and do your own research.
Absolutely.
Yes.
Absolutely.
And Sebanti, one little thing that I also had in mind just now, how useful were the open houses that you had attended to? I remember you just mentioned a couple of minutes ago that you attended it in different universities. Could you just tell us when these, roughly, I'm sure I'm sure it's different from each year that they would put out dates, but when exactly do these open houses happen, and how valuable it is for parents and children to go and attend these? I mean, is it a must?
No, it is extremely important that you go and get the feel of a university.
Yeah.
And, unless and until you go and visit and the faculty speaks to you, the students speak to you. So we attended CBS, we attended Aarhus, we attended Roskilde. And that's
Okay.
how we were actually able to make a choice about Roskilde and understand so many things, understand that they have so many study abroad programs and, inner details about the place. And the child also gets to understand whether she really wants to come here. And it helped my daughter understand that Aarhus, in spite of having, we were, like I said, we were very, very impressed with Aarhus, but she did not want to leave Copenhagen.
Right.
Otherwise, Aarhus would have been higher on our list, And, we also discovered that Aarhus not only has a university in Aarhus proper city, but there is also a new faculty which has opened up a little ahead of Aarhus in Herning, where, because it's a new school, they take in children of all grade, no matter what you've got, as long as you've got your diploma. So these are handy things to know, because not everybody is top of the rung. Your
Right.
grades could fluctuate. Not every child is able to achieve a extremely high mark, but everybody has a right to education. So it's
True.
important to understand that there is place for everybody. You just have to go out. So open days are extremely important. I think they normally happen around the early part of the year, say about February, and it's the same every year. So if you go
Okay.
onto the websites have everything explicitly.
Okay. Because also for some high schools, if students are planning to switch high schools, again, those open houses also happen in January and Feb. So it's good to know that there is a little similarity in the days of open houses, and parents should watch out for the year beginning to
Exactly.
book their calendar or look into the websites of different
Exactly.
colleges and
Yeah.
universities and try
And
to.
on the other hand, they're great day trips also. So it's just the family goes out and has fun.
Yes, because sometimes we are very lucky to be in this world of internet where everything is accessible and ready, but not everything is understandable from just the website. So I
Exactly.
totally agree on
No,
your.
and you have to get a feel of the environment, the classroom.
Yes.
It makes a lot of difference. When you go, you interact, you understand. It's really, really helpful.
So I, in some way, feel that it is going back to the time when we actually take our little ones to the nursery or to the kindergarten or to their primary school. We
Exactly.
walk with them and we see everything. So that has to happen again, because high schooling, or as in university education, is again a new step in your children's life.
Of
So
course.
we have to walk with them.
Absolutely. You walk
It
with
is.
them, you walk behind them, you keep walking till you enter your grave. That's basically it.
Super. That has been great information, Sibandi. Any piece of advice that you feel can help new families who are coming with teenagers and older kids to Copenhagen or Denmark? Any piece of advice that you can share
You
from your experience?
I just want to say that come with an open mind. It's a great place to be in. And during the COVID times, it's been proved once again that Denmark is the best place you can be in. And if you can enjoy and, take advantage of the education that is here, I think it would be a great, great part of a child's journey. So I would say that it's extremely important not to go after numbers and rankings, and it's just good to have the child experience this quality of education that is there, which is also world class everywhere in Denmark.
Right.
So I think it's a great country to be in, and children should be here and educate themselves and then take on the world.
Totally. Thank you so much for your time and your research-based information for us and for our families and whosoever plans to watch this interview. I'm sure it is an eye-opener, but thank you so much.
It's been a pleasure. I wish you all the best, and I think you're doing a great job.
Thank you.
Thank you so much, and you have a great day.
Yeah,
okay.
Thanks.
Bye.